Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and this is another segment in the food and finance series. So I am glad to bring on a great guest because one of the big things that we've seen happen a lot is that more attention has gone to whether recipes, whether food, and whether items are gluten free. Now, there's a lot of people who still don't understand, what the impact of gluten is. But I will say, from talking to so many people that do have a sensitivity to gluten, if gluten is included in the food, it's not a pretty experience for them afterwards. So it becomes very important for them to be able to find gluten-free food. And so I thought it was great to bring on an amazing guest because I saw her Instagram profile, amazing pictures. She is doing a great job of finding gluten-free restaurants, and she also runs a marketing, her own agency. So we're going to talk about both of those things, but I wanted to welcome Paige Dyman to the show. Welcome to the show, Paige.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, before we jump into talking about your agency, first I want to talk about, when it came down to gluten-free Charlotte, what was the genesis that really spurred you to kind of go on this journey and to share, all of the amazing photos and the amazing list that you have?
Yeah, I think that, there was definitely a need. I am super big on social media. I love it. It's something, when I pick up my phone in the morning, that's the first thing I go to, which may not be healthy, but it's what I do. And I'm always, looking for places, going on their Instagrams and seeing like, do they have gluten-free options? But there was never a specific place that I could go to that had, a list or pictures or information of where I knew like, 95% that like this is going to be safe for me. So I wanted to create this community to help people who, maybe have been gluten free their whole life or have just started to be gluten free, to help them find places where they can safely eat out and not feel isolated and they can't go out to eat and they can't do things with friends. And so that's kind of how Gluten-Free Charlotte started. And I also have a background in marketing. And so, those two things together kind of just clicked.
Awesome. Now, to give people a little bit of an idea of, why is, such a big deal with gluten. So let's say for a person, like yourself who, gluten is not something that you want in your diet. So can you help them understand like what the impact of it is if gluten is in the food?
Right. So it is different for everybody. Everybody has a different reaction. It could be hives on your skin, you could have stomach issues. And with celiac disease, which is what I have, it's an autoimmune disorder. It's all over the place. It's really weird. Like, it could be the littlest piece of gluten that from, you're putting a pizza in the same oven as another non-gluten pizza, and that could really trigger you, or it could not. So it's really all over the place, which makes it even more difficult. But that cross contamination is a big thing. And so gluten is wheat, rye, barley, and malt. So no pastas with like wheat pastas, no birthday cake, no beer. So it can be a challenge to find, places that you can eat out in.
Mhm. And I mean, that one becomes an interesting one because when, I've been living in Charlotte maybe 2, 3 years, well, 3 years now. And I've noticed that Charlotte is like, I guess you say the unofficial kind of brewery beer capital city. So
Yeah.
it's just like, it's probably very challenging, like I said, to find, truly gluten-free places. So how did you kind of, how did they, that relationship go when you started talking with them and taking pictures of their food and creating the eater list? How did that go?
Yeah, I think, my first step was reaching out via DM or calling, trying to talk to chefs and asking for their, procedures and making sure, because I don't want to post anything that would be misleading or anything like that on my page. So I always make sure to talk to the chef or managers of the restaurant to know, how do you prepare things? Do you take off your gloves? And because the smallest trace can really make us, gluten-free people sick. So I think, definitely talking to those important people as, awkward as it may be, and you don't want to be a pain, like it's something that you have to do, and it's it's really important. And I think as talking to these restaurants, it's brings awareness to the issue as well of it's not just a lifestyle. It can be, but for people who have an autoimmune disease, celiac disease, like it can really, I mean, it could take a couple of days out of my life because
Wow.
I'm so sick. So I think building those connections have really grown kind of the community. And it's been so great talking to all small business owners. I love it. I love learning and meeting new people. So it's been really great.
Awesome, awesome. Now, when it comes down to, like I said, your Instagram page, like I said, I absolutely love the pictures and the shots that you got.
Thank
And I know you said
you.
your background is marketing. So, did you also take some time in, I guess, with photography because the pictures look amazing?
Thank you so much. Um, I I actually took a skill pop class on mobile photography like a couple of years ago, but other than that, I've just kind of always grown up with like a camera in my hand, and it's pretty self-taught.
Nice, nice. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So now, can you tell people where can they find, the eateries? I know I've mentioned Instagram. Give them the handle name and any other place that they can go to see all the great things that you're sharing.
Yeah, so you can find me at Gluten-Free Charlotte, and then a planned page is my digital marketing and Instagram page for that stuff if you're interested in that.
Awesome, awesome. Now, if there's a restaurant that says, "Hey, you know what? I'm in Charlotte. I'm gluten free. I want to, they want to reach out to you. They want to get on the list." What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
I would say the best way is just to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm always active on there, so I'll see that immediately first.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. And I can attest she does respond to her DMs on Instagram because that's how we got connected.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about your marketing agency. Can you tell us a little bit about that and just kind of what spurred you to start that?
Yeah, so like I said before, I have a background in marketing. I graduated from UNC Charlotte. And social media has just always been a passion of mine. I interned with one of my neighbors who had a small business, and I did her social media and stuff. And I just really loved making an impact of I just love to help people. So that was just one way for me to do that. And, I've worked in an agency environment. I've worked for a real estate agency. And last year, I just decided like, this is what I want to do. And I quit my job and I just started, and it's been going really well. I love it. I just love, working with Charlotte small business owners. It's just such just to see in like the past year, like how everybody's pivoted and grown and just, made the best of this really hard time. It's just been really awesome.
Nice, nice. I think it is amazing, like I said, to really see that change, and even from your end, it just do you find that many of the, like I said, the companies that you're working with, did they have much of a social media or any marketing presence before you started working with them?
It varies. Some people have just kind of been doing it here and there on the side, and others have, been a little bit more serious about it. So it really just varies. I kind of work with, even if you've never even been on Instagram before, I work with people like that, or people who are just like wanting to take it to that next level.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love it. And then as far as the agency goes, if people want to get in touch with you for your services on the agency, how do they get in contact with you?
Okay, so the best way for that would be to email me at a planned page at gmail.com, or you can visit my website, a plannedpage.com.
Perfect, perfect. I absolutely love it. Now on the food. Now, do you have any other restaurants that you in the works? Any new photos we should be expecting and looking out for?
I do, but I'm gonna keep it a secret. I
Awesome.
have some new stuff coming up. I'm also working on doing a fun giveaway, which I've never done on my page before, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, just some exciting new things going on, working on building a Facebook group so, more people can kind of connect with each other. I would love to, you know, meet people out soon and maybe do some events. So some stuff like that's in the works.
Awesome. So as if you're listening, you're watching, definitely keep a eye on the page. And can you repeat the name of the page again?
It's at Gluten-Free Charlotte.
Perfect. Perfect. So if you are looking forward to those things that she mentioned, definitely check out her page. And now, before we wrap up, one of the questions I always like to ask every guest that comes on is, when you think about, kind of the journey that you've been on with, gluten-free Charlotte and also with your marketing agency. And, I'm sure there've been so many lessons that you've learned. What's two lessons that you've learned that you would share with other business owners?
I would say, I would encourage, restaurants as well as any other kind of small business to work together, build that community. We can all fulfill a different need. So I think, working together and supporting each other is like really important and collaborating. And, I really am big on that, like in the businesses that I work with, is to just support each other. And then another big one is know when to post and know when not to post. Be very careful of what's going on, and you don't want to post something when uh, there's bad things going on. So just be very mindful of what's going on in the world.
Awesome. I love it. I think that is phenomenal advice. So Paige, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really enjoyed having Paige Dyman. And before we wrap up again, can you repeat the your handle name so people know where to go to find you?
Yes, you can find me at Gluten-Free Charlotte and A Planned Page. Thank you so much for having me on. This was awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you like what you heard, don't be selfish. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and then share this with a friend, because you know a business owner that could definitely use this insight. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates when we release a new episode.